Yeah, I know what you're thinking. You can get a job in the Middle East simply by trying or by magic, through others, or by fluke. Remember that competition is everywhere. Some here, some there, but bam! Loimacito is the best.
I'm going to give you my thoughts about the announcement about Dubai changing its government. Sheikh Mohammed made this big announcement. And I'll tell you what the media is not talking about. And this is actually going to be my prediction, okay? My prediction about why this is happening and what's going to follow. And like before, when I predicted about Expo 2020 being a disaster, I never predicted, obviously, the COVID-19, but I predicted that it would be a disaster. And well, as of now, it looks to be a disaster, and everyone knows that even after COVID, it's going to be a disaster. Okay, I'd given my reasons. I don't want to repeat it. So until now, I can say that most of what I predicted and what I've said about Dubai has come true. It's not that I'm a, kind of a pundit or an astrologer or, oh, I predict this, the moon. No, I'm giving you based on a pattern. I'm giving you based on what I see, Like sometimes we see things, but we don't pick it up. I don't know. Maybe I have the uncanny ability. Maybe, or maybe many people have, but I'm the only guy who speaks it out. Maybe it's that. We all have it, but I'm the only guy who says it publicly on a channel because for safety reasons. So I'm going to share with you why I feel Sheikh Mohammed made this announcement, what the media is not saying, and what the prediction is going to be next. Okay. Number one is, if you actually look, what happened when Dubai unveiled Burj Khalifa? It was supposed to be Burj Dubai. It was not supposed to be Burj Khalifa. So why did UAE change the name to Burj Khalifa? Obviously because Sheikh Khalifa helped him. Abu Dhabi helped him. But it's very symbolic. Why did Khalifa ask for that tower, which I call the erection, or the middle finger, right in the middle of Dubai? It's like to be honest with you, it's actually like a middle finger right in the middle of Dubai, or like kind of an erection. So why did Abu Dhabi say change that to Khalifa? I'm pretty sure Dubai didn't say out of their goodness. No way, because Dubai is a brand. It's like Emirates Airlines is a brand. Dubai is a brand. Everything. Dubai Boulevard, Dubai Mall. So don't you think that should be Burj Dubai? Dubai, Dubai, Dubai. Everything is a singular brand. It's the principles of branding. So Dubai wouldn't have changed that to Burj Khalifa. Sheikh Mohammed wouldn't have done that willingly. Maybe you would make a portrait or some other project. But I'm pretty sure Abu Dhabi told, make that into Khalifa. In other words, what Abu Dhabi said or did symbolically was to show that I am right in the fucking middle of Dubai. It's like I put my stamp, I put my fucking erection right in the middle of Dubai. Put my middle finger right up there. So fuck you to everyone. Look at my finger. Look at it. Big dick. So, suck on it. It's something, I know he didn't say that, but it's symbolic. I mean, anywhere in Dubai, anywhere you stand in any part of Dubai, any part of the Emirate, you can see Burj Khalifa. It is symbolic to show, number one, I'm the boss. And this started even before that, when Abu Dhabi used to started these signboards when driving. Abu Dhabi, the capital of UAE. Because people used to assume Dubai is the capital of UAE. Dubai is UAE. People used to always believe, so many foreigners believe that. So Abu Dhabi started the new branding exercise. Abu Dhabi, the capital of UAE, the capital city. Okay. So now that was one clue. The second clue was Dubai always has been independent from Abu Dhabi. It has always played differently to Abu Dhabi. Like, for example, Sheikh Mohammed went into horse racing, which is nothing but gambling. Horse racing, okay? Horse racing as a sport, but obviously when you go into races, there's a lot of betting. Betting is what? Gambling. Islam doesn't support that. How many horse races did in UK? How many horse races did you see Abu Dhabi Sheikh go there? Dubai Sheikh used to go there. Dubai ruler used to wear that English hat and stand there. How many times did you see the Abu Dhabi Sheikh going there, standing with a hat and all that? No, nobody. Only Dubai. He liked to do all these things. Okay? So they were very different in their styles. Where Dubai used to promote alcohol and tourism and whores and, it is like Las Vegas. How many places did you see Abu Dhabi promoting that? Where you would see nightclubs. Abu Dhabi is not known for its nightclub life, although there are nightclubs. Abu Dhabi is not so famous about girls and Lamborghinis and all that. Dubai has been. And there has always been this ego clash. Ego clash, like, for example, Dubai showed one Palm Island. Abu Dhabi said, okay, we'll show Yas Island. Then Dubai said, oh, you're showing Yas Island? I'll show you 1, 2, 3 Palm. I'll show you the world. I'll show you universe. I'll show you this in the water, that in the water. I'll show you in the sky. I'll show you a revolving tower. I'll show you all this. Abu Dhabi said, okay, you show all this. We'll just show Yas Island. The only difference being is Dubai was putting sand on top of the water, which was not natural. Abu Dhabi already had an island. It was already there. They just had to build on top of the island. So Abu Dhabi was smarter than Dubai. If you look at the roads that have been created in Abu Dhabi, the roads never changed for years and years until, I think, after Sheikh Zayed came into, the throne. Only after 30 or 40 years did they change the roads and make it wide and make all those changes. But Dubai, on the other hand, kept building a road, breaking a road. For those of you who stayed in the 80s and 90s, you would know what I'm saying. They would make a road, break a road, make a road, break a road, make a road, break a road. They would build a 100 million bridge, they would destroy the bridge. Then they'd build a 150 million bridge, they would destroy the bridge. They were constantly building, breaking. And sometimes the bridges were built every year and destroyed every year. Abu Dhabi never did that. They just, if they built, it was like they built once properly, So differences in style. And, Dubai has always promoted itself on social media. Like even the cop cars, the super fast cars. Abu Dhabi, how many times it showed a super fast car? It only showed the Rolls-Royce Phantom, showed the Bugatti, just 2 cars. Dubai, on the other hand, every bloody day, a new car, a Mustang, a Ferrari, a Lamborghini, every car you can think of, whether it was a flying car, whether it was female cops on that Segway. I mean, Dubai has come out with 110 different things. So Dubai always wants to show we are far more better. That's why Dubai put the first guy on the moon, space tourist, as I call him, not astronaut. Okay, nothing bad. Dubai wants to advertise, fine. But I'll tell you, when you start showing off in such a large scale, people don't like it. Dubai, Abu Dhabi, all of them are neighbors. It's like you having your neighbor, and one neighbor is showing off every day. I'm the biggest, I'm the best, I'm the most successful. Even though you have more money, he's showing off. You'll be pissed off, you'll be irritated. It gets under your skin at some point, especially when you're living far beyond your means. And Dubai has been living on debt, far beyond its means. Dubai has been showing off by borrowing other people's money. Everything in Dubai is showing off. Everything in Dubai is, we are rich, we are successful, this tower, that tower. Tell me, in the last 5 years, here's my question to you. In the last 5 years, what has Dubai actually achieved? Just simple question, my challenge to you. In the last 5 years, what has Dubai achieved? Let's look at it. I'm inserting this voice clip in the middle of my video just to give you an idea what Dubai or Dubai government or Sheikh Mohammed kind of announced as the big projects for people to invest in UAE. So I'll give you the references. Check the references in the description down below and do your own research. Let's start. May 13th, 2006, the Bawadi project was announced,
And they claimed that this is going to be bigger than Las Vegas, and the value of the project was $100 billion. On December 2011, the waterfront project was announced, and they said this is going to be twice the size of Hong Kong. So big that they're going to have 1.5 million extra people come to UAE and stay. And they even had hundreds of thousands of hotels, leisure spots, everything, the works. Then February 21st, 2013, the Hydropolis project was announced, which was an underwater hotel. And they said this is going to cost 500 million. 30th April 2013, the Dinosaur Concept theme park was announced, a $10 billion project. 7th July 2014, UAE air-conditioned city was announced, called the Mall of the World. This was unveiled personally by Sheikh Mohammed himself. 25th April 2016, Mall of Arabia was announced, and this mall was valued at $5 billion. 19th July 2016, once again, UAE announced a 27 billion Bawar D project. Okay, so all these big projects were announced, all these big billions and trillions and bigger than Hong Kong, bigger than Las Vegas. My question to you is, what happened to all these projects?
Okay, send a man, space tourist to the moon. Fine, you pay 1 million or 5 million. Any space agency will take your candidate, train him and send him to the moon. Fine. It's PR, public relations, publicity. How did it help the economy? Zero. Okay, they made so many announcements. They're going to build this tower, that tower, the fingerprint tower of Sheikh Mohammed's fingerprint is going to be there. Remember that? Okay, this is going to be this new tower. It's going to be new city. What happened in the last 5 years? In fact, here's a simple question. The Expo 2020 was the biggest project. They put billions and millions. Remember the predictions? How much billions is going to pour in? How many tourists? 25 million tourists. All those big predictions, all that Indian manager who was in charge of Expo 20. We are expecting 25 million visitors. Oh, the airport is going to be packed with 200 million capacity. From 80 million, the capacity is going to go to 200 million. Oh, we are buying so many Airbuses. We are buying so many aircrafts. Emirates is going to be expanding this, that. So much of hi-fi. In the last 5 years, what did Dubai achieve? Other than news. Remember the gold visa? The gold visa, lifetime visa. Everyone, I have my gold visa. Yeah. You'd see some old man. I was 50 years in Dubai. My dream come true. What did B.R. Shetty say? This is the greatest achievement, not the Padma Shri from India. Not this visa, 10-year visa. And now he is deported. You remember all those old people coming? My visa, I came here 1940. 1940 I came here. Now I have 10-year visa. And the poor guy must have died within 6 months after getting that visa stamp. And that visa was not for fucking free. They made all this gold visa. Okay, we give you a lifetime visa. Oh, the nurses and doctors. Who the fuck wants a visa? They want fucking money, man. So, what? Tell me, what was the achievement? Simple. What was the achievement? The Yemen war? The Israeli spies? The dark matter? That software to spy on other people's thing? TikTok got banned? I mean, I don't want to get into the personal problems of Sheikh Mohammed. That is his personal family life. Let's not drag that into it. It's not right, and I'll not do it also. But that also did play, it did harm the reputation. And I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why that is happening. When you have Arab children who are studying abroad in the West, okay, an Arabic culture, a conservative Muslim Islamic culture, you're letting them study in UK. You're letting them study in US. They are meeting all these Gora, white skin. They are meeting all the people who smoke, drink, live a Western life. You think with these Western education, with the Western values, when they come back, they want to sit on a camel and sleep in a tent and eat rice with mutton? Come on, man. It's like you putting someone into sex, drugs and alcohol and expect them to come back to normalcy. Why do you think so many of the sheikh's children have either, they don't want to run the country, they want to move into sex, drugs, and get into all these addictions? What happened to the Sharjah Sheikh's son? Okay, he wanted to move into fashion designing. That also, Sharjah Sheikh, the most conservative Muslim Arab man who follows the Saudi rule in UAE, Saudi rule in Sharjah. There's no pork, there's no alcohol. You know, Sharjah is dry. And his son, the ruler's son, went into fashion, into that also catwalk. Look at these photographs. Look at the girls that he was with. You think that speaks of Islam and Islamic values? Come on, man. Look at Sheikh Mohammed's children. They're all educated. Why do you think his daughter, Latifa, from where did she get all these ideas? From where did she learn to speak English so fluently? You think from a Islamic Arab education? You think they were that, oh, I want to be free, freedom, women's equality rights? No, it's with these Goras that she was, this white community that she was mixing around with. She got all these Western values. That's what happens. Why do you think all of Sheikh's sons who are educated abroad, you don't see them in the limelight? Because you're putting them for temptation. It's a very different lifestyle. And after you expose them to all this, you expect them to come back to a conservative culture? Why Sheikh Mohammed, Sheikh Zayed, Sheikh Rashid? They were so humble. They were so grounded. Because they didn't expose themselves to all this shit until they reached a level of maturity. Today, you're exposing your children to all the fundamentals of the West. Alcohol, girls, sex, freedom, Western values, Western media. They will never want to come back, man. Come on. Why do you think I'm not letting my child go and study in some Western college or here? Western schools. I'm not going to put my child into all these Western Gora where all these white kids are there. I'll put her in some village school. You know why? Because if you put in Western, these kids will be showing off their iPad, showing off their smartphone. I've met small children, even, would you believe, in Kerala, when I went for my bariatric surgery. Kerala, where you think it's God's own country, you know, when you see the ads in the paper, you see Kerala, coconut trees, you see cows, you think nature. When I went for my bariatric surgery, I met a small boy. You know, when his father introduced him to me, this is Loy. The guy said, hey, Dad, he just brushed me off here. Dad, I want the latest iPhone 8 and the Apple smartwatch. The first thing he told his father. Others, I'm not going to school. Okay? I was like, whoa, what the fuck? I said, you want the Apple, you want the iPhone 8? I don't know, it was iPhone 8 that time, or I think it was 8. He's saying, yeah, of course, man. That is how he was talking to me. So I was like, fuck. And then I asked his father, like, what kind of school does he go to? He was like, yeah, here all the who's who, the rich, the people who studied in the West, all their children are. So, see, this is the problem. And then, coming next. So, why is it happening is also because now Sheikh Faza, the ruler's son, see, he's a man. He's not a small boy. Yes, he has a boyish look on his face, but he's a man. Have you noticed that Sheikh Mohammed has not let him run the country? Sheikh Mohammed is 70 years old, 70 plus. At 70 years of age, you're still not handing it over to your son to run the business? Isn't there something wrong? When are you planning to do it? When you're 80? When you're 90? When you cannot stand anymore, you'll hand it over? Isn't that a bit too late? You know, if it was me, I would groom my son. You be in the front, I be at the back. See what happened with Qatar. He told his son, you take the lead. And that's how it should be. See what happened to Saudi. The father stepped. He said, you take the lead. That is what should have happened. But Sheikh Mohammed doesn't seem to want to do it. Now, what is the reason? We can only speculate. But I'll give you my analysis over there. Sheikh Mohammed is power hungry. He loves to micromanage. He doesn't want his power to be given to anyone. That is number one. The second reason is his son, even though he's a good man, he's a very good man. He has a good heart. He's he has not proved himself as a leader. Number 3 is Dubai is built on the foundation of Sheikh Mohammed, his brand. The day he dies or he is not there, I'll tell you, Dubai will fucking collapse. Collapse means not that it's going to be destroyed, but all the investors will be holding on to their cash and think, I need to know what the fuck is going to happen, others I'll lose everything. It's like losing a leader, and it has never been the case where if a leader is up here, his son is even better. Very rarely, very, very rarely. Like Steve Jobs, you think his son or daughter could do better? Elon Musk, you think his son or daughter can do better? Check any great man. His son, Ratan Tata, I don't know who are his sons, I never heard of them. I don't know, are they doing well? Maybe my ignorance, maybe they are doing well. But see, it's always the father who is right up there. The sons, they don't measure up to the father. They never do. Then comes, so obviously he's not a able leader. He's a good human being. He's not an able leader. At least we have not seen anything, nothing as of now. There are many Arabs who call him a pretty boy, who say that, he's a good poet, he's a good athlete. But I've never seen him as a leader, man. Never, never, never. Okay? And if he really is a leader, why isn't Sheikh Mohammed saying, okay, you take over, I'm at the background? I'll tell you, people would love that. There are a lot of people who would love that because you would have the father at the background mentoring him to take charge. It's not happening. And there are 2 sons. And sadly, the previous son died. That also because of the same thing, the addictions. And how did the addictions come? Because being exposed to a Western world. It's so sad, Now comes the big thing, okay? Dubai has not paid any of its loans until now. Last 5 years, it has defaulted. I think it's defaulted again. So now you are running a business, but there is no money. You're showing off to the world, but you don't have anything. And now with this COVID virus, the very thing that generates income, that is tourism, is not there. So how the fuck do you survive? You can't get down on your image. You have to keep showing, oh, we are big, we are big. Like for example, this city, new city, technology city or whatever, digital city, what happened to it? It's not that people did not get creative funds. I told you, my family friend, my closest best friend, he got money. I think 20,000 or 15,000 dirhams. Then one other guy who I know, he got 50,000 dirhams for creative endeavor. Okay, thank you. That's really nice. You're giving expats. But now let's ask ourselves, how long do you think $1,000 a month for the next 1 year will last you? It will not last you. You'll spend it maybe, okay, it's a relief. Okay, you'll spend it for rent. But then what? End of the day, you need business, right? You need tourists, right? You need customers, right? Now, why is one hotel shutting down? Why is one restaurant shutting down? Why are coffee shops shutting down? Why are retail outlets terminating staff? Why are car showrooms terminating staff? Why are they revising the contracts? Why Emirates is saying, okay, first they gave a full contract. Emirates gave a full contract, full time, and now they are calling it part time. Why they are slashing on salaries? Why they? Because there is no revenue, man. There is nobody who is traveling. Simple, go to the fucking airport and check how many cars are going in and out. The airplanes are being filled with just cargo stuff. You know, all the seats, they're just filling them with boxes now. They're using it as cargo because they have to fly. And Emirates is so bloated, so fucking big. It's hemorrhaging cash every single day. So now, when you have such a big business, no money. When you have no money, you have no power. And when you have no power, nobody gives a fuck about you. And Abu Dhabi and Dubai have been showing cracks. Abu Dhabi is shutting down and Dubai on the same day opened up to show, okay, you do what you want. But where has the business improved? Now, the last part is why the announcement was made. I give you the reasons behind it. It's very simple. I'll give you an example so it makes sense. Let's say you're married to a person, spouse. A man and woman are married and they're staying in the same house. They have 4-5 children. Okay? And now the marriage develops problems. So the husband tells the wife, okay, we need to shake things up. So, very simple. From today, we'll change the designations. I'm no more your husband. You're no more my wife. We'll give you new designations. I'll be principal, you be headmaster. And the children will not be Sam and Sammy and Tommy. It'll be Mark, Manson and Mayhem. So they changed their names. But the husband is the same. The wife is the same. The children are the same. The house is the same. The location where they stay is the same. Everything is the same. To shake things up, they only change the servants. Okay, these Indian guys, they go, bring Filipinos. Okay, now they'll clean the house. Okay, or we'll bring African people because it's cheaper. Okay, or okay, let's forget this. Let's call some Western people so we show that we are upgraded. Okay, that's what it is. And we'll change the decor. We'll paint the walls. We'll put some decoration. Now they did all this. Do you think the family dynamics is going to change? Do you think the family environment is going to change? Do you think anything in the house is going to change? No. All you have done is changed your designations or what you call each other. You've changed the color of the house, changed the paint, and you've changed the lower level stuff. Leader remains the same. The main people remain the same. This is the same thing that has happened with UAE's government. What has changed? Nothing. So now, but then the question is, if they don't change anyone, then why do they make the announcement? That is what I was also thinking. Okay, if the people remain the same, then why do they need to make the announcement? Because nothing has happened. So the only way they would make this announcement is if there's going to be a major change which they are not talking about. And the major change is this. Abu Dhabi is taking over Dubai. And I'll tell you why. Sheikh Mohammed, when he was in his 30s, 40s, testosterone was high, health was strong, he was a robust man, he was a hot-tempered, boiling hot, red-hot blood kind of a guy. Today he is 70. He's old. He no longer has that capacity to do things. Like it's simple. Look at WWE, Undertaker. When Undertaker was in his 40s, 50s, massive guy. Today he's 60s. He's a broken down man. He can't do the same things he used to do before. Physically, mentally, emotionally, you can't. And now the greatest crisis that we have seen in the last 100 years. Sheikh Mohammed can't take it anymore. He knows it. And he also knows his son can't take it anymore. Now just imagine if he were to hand it over to his son, who's not a strong leader, and somebody tries to assassinate him or kill him or something. Finished, right? A hostile takeover. Who do you think can do anything? Abu Dhabi is the one who is, holding hands with the US and Europe, and Dubai has nothing now. Dubai, Sheikh Mohammed can't even go to Europe anymore because of Princess Haya. He can't go and represent UAE with the United States. It's only the Abu Dhabi guy can go. Who's making all the tie-ups with Israel? Who's making all the tie-ups with the MBS? Who's making all the tie-ups with the US? It's Abu Dhabi. So UAE doesn't have the power. The only thing which it had cash before, with all black money given, that also it doesn't have now. So he's like a man, he's like a lion with no teeth, with no claws. He can't do anything. He looks like a lion, but he doesn't have teeth. His teeth are fallen off. His claws are broken. He's old. And now you have all hyenas coming to attack him. So now the only recourse is Abu Dhabi. Abu Dhabi it has this pack of big, huge elephants with powerful tusks. They are fresh because, they didn't indulge in any war and they have allies. So he still shows he's a lion. Sheikh Mohammed shows like he's a lion, but with no teeth, no claws. So what can he do? He has to hand over the power. But if he hands over the power, Dubai is collapsed. And he doesn't want to, create panic in the market. He wants to save face. So Abu Dhabi has given him a good deal. Abu Dhabi has said, this is a deal I'll offer you. What you do is say that the government is shaken up ensure all the data is now made online, available to us, all their data. And if you look at it on other news channels, they have been speaking about Abu Dhabi teaming up with Israel for artificial intelligence, for data encryption, for, being able to control information. Today, whoever controls information is king. Google.com, Facebook, they have data. So same way, Abu Dhabi has realized, if you have the data, we can control everything. So they have said, Dubai, transfer all your data, everything for us to access online. Okay? And keep our guys at the top position. Our Merri, our Shamsi, whomsoever, give them top-notch designations. So you'll keep them in those designations, but they will report to me. Okay? You'll keep them there. On the media, you show that you're successful. On the media, you show you're the boss. Everything you show, you're great. But, we will pay attention to all the information. And just like Donald Trump will tell you what is to be said, will tell you what is to be done, you just have to communicate that message as you're doing that. We are not going to tell you everything. You can do your own thing. Show off, make new projects, show success, extraordinary. All that running you do, we are not bothered about it. The main core data of the citizens of Dubai, everything, that's under our control. And for this, we'll give you life-saving cash. So cash is what will save Dubai now. So that is the only way that Dubai can survive. And that is the only reason why Dubai announced the shake-up of the government. In the powerful positions at the top, he has put Abu Dhabi-based guys, okay, who will report to Abu Dhabi. And it's all a facade to show, I'm in charge, I'm taking... No, if he was in charge, his son would take over, man. Come on. He's 70 years old. Just think about it. Ask yourself, if your father or mother is 70 years old, do they want to be running the business, or will they tell somebody else to take over? What happened to B.R. Shetty? As you become old, you can't handle stress. You make mistakes. So the younger generation takes over. See, for any father, it is his dream that his son takes over his business. His son carries on his legacy. His son, shows his leadership skills. In Dubai's case, we don't see that happening for reasons whatsoever. Okay? And now the father is getting old. Like I told you, the best analogy is a tiger or a lion with no teeth, or his teeth are all broken and claws are gone. So now either you have the next in line take forward and protect the pack, or you need to ask somebody else. And in this case, what Dubai is doing is it's reaching out to please help us. And this time Abu Dhabi is not dumb, it's not stupid. It's not going to ask, okay, put another building in my name and send me this property. No. They are holding right, like at the jugular, right at the neck. They are saying, give us the most important thing today, in today's world, and that is data, that is information. So everything will be online, everything will be on the servers, and we will have access to all the data. We'll have access to their name, telephone numbers, ID, location, age group. We'll track their mobile, we'll know where they are, through their SIM card. Finish. That is the most powerful thing Abu Dhabi can have today. And yes, put our guys in the main central government, so we know what is happening, and we'll give you instructions how to run. Just like Donald Trump is running the country, he's getting instructions from his team what to do. I'll give instructions what to do. You want to do events, you want to show off, you want to do your expo, big, everything, no problem. But rest, we are taking charge. And that is the reason. And that's what I see. That is the main reason why this is happening. So guys, you let me know. Like I told you, this is just my personal opinion. This is not anything that the media will talk about, because nobody can. So You let me know. You let me know if what I've said is true or not, and put it in the comment section below. I'm not hating anyone. I'm just giving you my analysis based on a snapshot of what I'm looking at, the trend. Because Dubai today has no her, has no future, has no leader who can take charge. There is no money. They have to pay loans. There is no more power. They can't travel. They are totally locked. And the only person, the big daddy who can help is Abu Dhabi. So Abu Dhabi is taking over. He's going to be in charge. This is what I feel is my prediction. You let me know. What are your thoughts? This is me signing off. Guys, take care.
Are you fed up of life? Earning a pathetic salary, working long hours, having an ungrateful boss, facing office politics, the constant fear of losing your job, and after paying rent, groceries, shopping, and children's expenses, you were left with hardly any savings. Is this the life you dreamed of? Or do you wish to change your life forever? Meet Loy Macedo, the world's #1 personal branding coach. He will help you identify the real you, position and sell yourself by getting the job of your dreams, and make good money anywhere in the world. If you do not believe me, Google his name, Loy Macedo, and you will find 2 million web links online and over 200 recommendations from very happy clients. So the question is, do you want to change your life? If yes, then contact Loy Macedo. www.loymacedo.com. Who is loymacedo.com? Thinkpersonalbranding.com. What are you waiting for? Do it now.